What's going on, my fellow YouTube viewers, Xeon Knights and Gundam model builder creative people? It's Raven, and it's part 2 now to look at my 1-to-100 Tall Geese project that I'm turning into a 1-to-100 high-grade Leo. And we've done a lot of improvements from the last time you saw this work in progress. I do apologize for the quality of that work in progress. I know it wasn't the best. And I had shot that video a long time ago, and I had to fix the audio and do all kind of stuff to it. But this video is definitely going to be a huge improvement, not only in the quality of the video itself, but of the actual model that I've been working on. So I'm really excited to do this. I got my tripod all set up. So let's take a look at what I've done since the last time you saw the Leo. Here's the gun. Since the last time, what I've done is I've cut off the stock and the tip of the barrel to make it more correct to size. I've added putty and spot putty here where the handle, which was from a model kit if you remember, connects to the piping. So now this is completely smooth. I know it doesn't look smooth, but it is. And so now that's all together. I've added another circular bit around here, and then a nozzle from another Gundam model, and a back cap from another Gundam model that just happened to be the correct size and shape. And now we have a finished Leo machine gun. And I think it came out really well, and I'm really proud of it. It looks awesome. It's not an exact replica of the Leo machine gun, but then again, neither is the model, and it's as close as I can get it with my current skill set, so I think it came out really well, and I'm excited. So there's that. Take a look at the shield. I know I said that I probably wasn't going to be covering up the eagle, but I decided to do it. Basically just some Tamiya spot putty and sanded it down, and now the shield is completely flat, no more edges of the eagle, and once I paint this it should look flat. Let's break it down from the bottom to the top now. The legs, take the foot off. I finished the ankle armor. It's not perfect, you know. I would probably like to get in here more and sand the back of this down more, make it more of a shape. But it looks pretty good. I have spot putty down here to blend the edges of the milliput to the plastic. And I don't have a scriber yet. I don't know why. Scriber is only like $4. But I ended up scribing in panel line here. It's kind of rough looking, really. Well, the thing is, when you do stuff like this, it's hard to tell. Once I paint primer this, we'll really see how the detail looks, and if I'm just going to cover this up with spot putty, but it looks alright. It gets the job done. The knees are done. I drilled in the 4 holes, and I cut off parts of a sprue tree and stuck those in there, glued those in, and then I continued to blend the part that I added to the original armor, so now this is completely flat. So is this. And I think that came out really well. Let's take a look at the other leg real quick. It's a comparison between the two legs. Alright. I think they came out looking pretty even. They're not perfect, but I think they came out alright. Let's look at the ankle bits. I think the ankle parts came out pretty good also. Pretty similar. Yeah. Surprised. Came out pretty good. Alright, let's take a look at the upper body. Since the last time you saw it, you remember that Leo had a severed head, and also he had holes where his chest vents go, where his boobs are, and all that good stuff. Now those have been filled in with milliput and Tamiya putty, and he's completely sanded down flat, and he's feeling pretty good around here. Ooh, feel that. Ooh. Oh, see, the Leo's articulation. Oh yeah, he can rub his nip with the other hand. I don't know why. I don't know. Don't even ask. So that's pretty good. The head was cut off last time. I've added milliput to the top of the head. Added this piece of plow plate for the visor. Kind of beveled that out just a little bit. And I just sanded the hell out of this until I got it to the shape I wanted. It's pretty smooth, pretty clean looking. I think this will come out really well. So hopefully we'll see once it gets painted, but that's what the Leo's head looks like right now. It's not perfect by any means, but the other thing that I did was I made these little back bits for the where the thrusters should be, and basically that's really crooked. that sucks. I didn't even notice that. Oh well, anyway. These are, I think they were calf armor from the Hainu Gundam that I cut down and then added a piece of plating to the top of that. And then these pegs back here are from an old beam saber. They just happen to be the right size to go into the peg holes, and these are going to go into the back. I know that they're not exactly what's supposed to be in the back there, but they're close enough. And so let's put this guy together, take a look at him, and you guys tell me what you think. Does this look like a Leo? Is it looking, is it getting there? This is my first time doing anything like this, so I'm actually proud with what I've accomplished so far. I can't believe I've come this far, to be honest. Alright, let's plug that in there. I don't know if I'm going to add thrusters to these. I don't think there's enough room for it, but we'll see. Who knows? Might have to get some high-grade thrusters or something. Oh, but there goes one of them. Butt plugs. Alright, let's get the shield in there, stick it in. Well, I had to give you something to make a joke about. This is going to be a pretty boring video just talking about this guy. Not many jokes today. He's very wobbly right now. I've taken him apart so many times, his joints have become very loose. So once I paint him, that should fix it. So that's the Leo. And, oh, how can I do this? Can I show you this? Oh, yes I can. And that's the line art there. The head on this line art is just so thick and so big. I would probably have to completely redo the head if I really wanted it to be accurate, but we're just going to paint this and see how it looks, and maybe I'll go back and redo the head, who knows. But for now, this is what we have, so this is basically done. I'm going to start painting this in the weeks coming, and part 3 will be the finished product. So what we're going to do for the rest of this video is I'm going to show you some tools and equipment that I use to make these modifications. In case you're curious about how I do this, I'm going to show you how I like to do it personally. You may have a better solution or a better technique. If so, share it down below in the comment video so everyone can learn. I love to learn about these things, and if you think there's something that I can do better, then let me know and I'll definitely try to do it. So let's get into that. Let's move Leo out the way. Alright guys, first thing, sandpaper. Sandpaper. I use 3M automotive sandpaper. You can get it at Walmart. Of course, the higher the grit, the smoother the sandpaper. 320 grit is what I've been using on this, and I really like it. It doesn't leave a lot of scratches, and it sands really well. And it's very easy on the plastic, so you're not like just ripping up and destroying plastic. So this is really good stuff. This is the first time I've used 320 in this weird texture and color, but it works great. I'm really liking it. It's like the perfect consistency of not too fine, but not too rough. So just for in general things, you know, like sanding down the putty between this and getting in here and sanding the putty down here and stuff. That's what I've basically been using the 320 for, and it works really well. Of course, you have your 2000 sandpaper. This is really fine sandpaper. Once you're done sanding, and if you want to do some fine sanding or wet sanding, I would recommend this. Or if you're going to be painting and then sanding and painting and sanding and painting and sanding to get a really professional look on anything, models, you know, automotive parts, this would probably be a good choice once you're done to get a fine finish before you clear coat. 80 sandpaper. 80 is ridiculously rough. It's like a cat's tongue rough, basically. And you want to use this very lightly because this will rip up plastic. I'm sure there's probably a better solution than 80, but this is what I was able to get when I started this project, and I was using it on the head to sand down a large portion of the milliput, and then I went down to the 320 after that for fine sanding, and then 1000 after that. But 80, be very careful when using lower grit sandpapers on plastic because you will destroy the plastic if you're not careful. Alright, let's go into some tools. First, we have our Dremel. This is a 5-speed Dremel from Chicago Electric. and this was purchased at Harbor Freight. I don't think Harbor Freight's in all states, but it's a very, very affordable tool store, and you have all kind of attachments on it. Right now, these are just great because there's so many different bits you can put on them: sanding bits, grinding bits, cutting bits. This is the main wheel I use for cutting on the PVC pipe and things like that. There's plenty of other ways to cut things. You can use a large cutter, or some kind of blade or something like that. But I prefer this. These are the different sanding drums that you can use to sand things down. So it's a really helpful tool. It makes your life a lot easier. This is a manual Dremel here, and basically there's just different drill bits, basically like a pen drill in a way. And I basically use this to create the holes, and you basically hold it and then you spin it like that, and you push it in with force, and you'll see the plastic slowly spiral out. And there's a bunch of different bits for this. This is one that I have. All these different bits for different sizes of things you may need. And this one comes apart, and because different drill bits require different size holders, so this comes out and flips around. You have a smaller one for the finer drill bits, and then there's another one hidden in the bottom. And this is a very convenient tool and very easy and very affordable. So this is a great way to go if you want to drill, because using an actual power drill on plastic is probably not a good idea. It's too powerful for this. You need something a bit tamer. So this is a great tool, along with the power Dremel here that we have. Of course, we have our X-Acto knife, which is covered in Tamiya putty because this is an old blade and I didn't care about it. So this is great, for anything model related, to cut off flash or parts of the sprue tree that are left over after cutting the piece off. Have here Loctite super glue. This is great for a couple things. Specifically, I use this on this model only to basically attach the little pegs into the kneecap armor, because the plastic cement wasn't cutting it, so I ended up using the Loctite super glue for that. And you have the Tamiya thin cement. Plastic cement is great because basically it's a very good bond as long as you use it properly. This will basically heat up and cement your pieces and fuse them together. So it's a very great thing to do if you don't want to use super glue. Super glue is not always permanent. It will wear out. Other thing I'm using is Tamiya basic type putty. And this is really, really thin putty. This is what you would call a spot putty. You don't want to use this for large endeavors, but for let's say you make a dent or some kind of cut and you want to fill it up, this is what you would use here. So you see this color was what I used on certain parts of the Leo that needed to be covered and then sanded down to be smooth again, like the shield. So this was used on the shield. So rub that in, or however you want to apply it, and then sand it down, and then the putty stayed in the cracks, and now this is completely smooth here. Next, we used Milliput Standard Yellow and Gray. And it comes like this. And basically you need to cut or break off equal parts, and then you're going to knead it and roll it together until it makes one solid color. And then you basically apply that to the plastic that you're going to be working on, or the wood, or whatever it is. And then you shape it a little bit, let that dry, and then you can cut it, you can sand it, you can paint it, you can drill it, you can do all kind of things to it. That's what was used to fill in the chest vents, to form the top of the head, and to form the ankle guards on the Leo was the Milliput Standard type putty. And then some stupid safety stuff. Eyewear. You want to wear this when using your Dremel because sometimes these drill bits wear out and they may break off, or the screw will come loose and they will break off and they may fly at you, and you don't want to get hit in the eye or in the face, so that's always good. Face mask. This is always good when you're sanding putty down or sanding anything down, really. You don't want to inhale any of that stuff that goes into the air once you're sanding it, so it's always a good idea to wear some kind of face mask or a breather or something like that. You don't want to breathe in that dust into your lungs. It's not good for you. That's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's really anything else for me to go over as far as tools or anything like that. Give you guys a basic idea of what things are used for and how to apply them. So, of course, like I said, there's millions of ways to do these things, but this is the tools and the specific items that I use when I do any kind of project. And they work really well for me. I'm sure there's plenty of other options, and I'm going to explore a lot of them. So, speaking of which, before we get into the end of this video, since we're going over tools and stuff like that, let's go over the color choices that I will be using for the Leo. Alright, so for the main body, we're going to be using Tamiya Color. Ooh, sorry Leo, you're in the way. Tamiya Color Olive Drab number 2 for the main body. I think is as close as I could possibly get to the Leo's actual color. I do have here also a light sea gray. I think I'm going to be using that for the front thruster. I'm debating it. I might use gunmetal for all the thrusters and the gun and stuff like that. I think that's probably a better idea. And then we have the metallic brown. The metallic brown is probably going to be used for the joints, I think. We're going to test that out and see how it looks. Because to me, the Leo is like a army soldier, but in a Gundam form. He's, gray and brown, and that's how I picture the Leo in my head. Whether or not that's going to look good is up for debate. I guess we'll just have to find out once I do it. So, alright guys, this video's gone on long enough. I hope you're looking forward to the next phase of this video, the end of it. Not because you want it to end or because it's boring, but because you're excited to see the outcome just like me. And like I said, this is my first time doing anything like this, and I think it's been turning out pretty well. So, I'm going to continue. I'm going to start priming this guy up and painting them and see what works. I'm probably also going to be trying to remove the seam lines on this kit, because this is an older kit and there are a lot of bad seam lines on the legs, especially, and the arms. So I'm going to try and get rid of that, I think. Prime him up, paint him up, and then show you guys, and you guys let me know what you think. So guys, until next time, be creative, learn new things, keep building Gundams because it's the best hobby in the world, and as always, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, Zion!